number one, is it still number one? Was it YouTube for Michael Irvin, Mike Florio, Bobby, that you had noticed?
Oh, yeah. That our interview with Michael Irvin is the number one video on the YouTube channel for the Fan.
Interview with Irvin or interview with Florio?
The interview with Florio about Irvin.
So that's the number one on YouTube.
Yeah, for the Fan. I think it's like double the traffic of the next highest video.
So you all have basically told us you are very interested in what's happening with the Playmaker. Well, Front Office Sports reported, and they are the ones who had the Skip Bayless story, that Undisputed was going away because they can't find a replacement. Skip's all depressed because he wants Stephen A or nobody. Well, they reported yesterday that Michael Irvin remains suspended from the NFL Network. Now, I had heard some whispers that Michael was actually gone. So this is nice to hear that he's still on suspension. You would have thought this thing would have been resolved, and based upon the evidence, he would have even been brought back, as many Tolos and viewers of that hotel video would surmise and think was common sense. Irvin's suspension as an analyst has spanned 5 months, as a source with knowledge of the situation told us, and his status remains unchanged. Beyond being sidelined by both the NFL Network and ESPN, like what's the status on First Take with Stephen A. Smith? Yeah. Beyond that, Irvin claimed in court that he had multiple planned public appearances, including appearances with sponsors like Cigna, Pepsi, and at a fundraiser for the Wounded Warriors Project, and he's been having to cancel these important charitable fundraising events and other engagements, including the Michael Irvin charity football game. He has not been contacted for future public appearances or engagements. So they're basically trying to say, because of this publicity, which is uncalled for, unjust, and unfair, unwarranted, he has had to cancel events and he's not getting any future work. So Michael Irvin apparently still suspended from the NFL Network, and I haven't heard anything about his status at ESPN and First Take either. And I have not talked to Mike forever.
I talked to him a couple of weeks ago. Well, more than a couple of weeks ago would mean 2. Isn't it funny how everybody says the other day, and the other day could be 6 months ago? So I talked to him, a couple of months back, but that was it, and it was nothing about this incident at all. Nothing whatsoever. Didn't even talk to him about anything. It was just very quick phone conversation.
And why is this case still out there? This article says, with no hearing set in the case, it's not clear when the case will be resolved as the NFL season inches closer. This would be his 15th year at the NFL Network. Yeah, Bobby, give us the scoop. You work over there. Come on, give us the juice. It's weird
because, and I mean, I know nothing about why he's still not on the air, but
like he hasn't texted us during shows. Nothing.
I don't know if he's living here right now. I have no idea where he is.
So I mean, we did know he was on his social media. He went to like Brazil or something a couple months ago. So I mean, he was out of the country at least a little bit. But
he's been traveling.
It's odd that, given what we saw on the video that existed, the accusations, everything else, it's odd that this has lingered. Like I feel like it's odd that this has lingered as long as it has, as something that just like, well, we can't even put the guy on TV right now. And it's like, does it rise to the level? The evidence we have seems to counter what was the initial accusation to begin with. And then even with what feel like revised accusations, is that enough to just keep him completely away? Like it seems really odd that this has been as big of an issue as it's played out as.
And I wonder how much involvement or impact Jerry Jones would have in this. Jerry Jones has been, I don't know if he still is, Bobby can confirm, very heavily involved as a powerful voice with the NFL Network. They want a Cowboys representation on there. You know, Michael Irvin represents America's team for the NFL Network. I would guess that Jerry Jones views that as a very, very... How the hell does Ryan get Jerry Jones up here so fast? I didn't tell him I was talking about Jerry Jones. I didn't give him a heads up. There was no audio clip.
Good job, Ryan.
Yeah.
Good job, Ryan.
He's a pro.
So I wonder,
happens when you're 19. You're just good with computers.
I wonder what influence Jerry would have on this. And if Michael wasn't there, who would be the Cowboy face? Who would be the replacement? because you know they want it. You know they need it.
Yeah, that'd be. I don't know who it would be. Here's what I'll say. I think that game 1 at AT&T Stadium, regardless if this is lingering or not, we're still getting the "This is our house" Michael Irvin hype video in AT&T Stadium. I don't think Jerry's wavered at all in his support of Michael Irvin.
No,
and so
not at all.
It's like I said, I'm surprised that it's July 12th here, and he's still. This hasn't been resolved in any manner to where it's like, no, we still can't. We can't put you out there. Now, some of that may be probably not related to NFL Network, but some of that may be like maybe Michael just feels like he doesn't want to talk right now. Maybe Michael doesn't want to be out there on TV until this gets resolved. It could be the legal advice that he's getting, because you remember the only time we've really heard from him since Super Bowl when
I'll never forget that morning. It was so surreal the way it was playing out.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The only time we've heard from him since then has been in these official press conference settings that he's had in Frisco with his lawyer there. There's been like 2 of them, and that's the only time we've heard from him. So it may just be legal advice that they're trying to get this thing resolved. But like I said, if there's no court date scheduled, it just feels like this could kind of go on without an end date in sight.
I think the obvious thing to always do is follow the money, and this is Marriott. And this is Marriott.
Well, Marriott says it's not them.
Yeah.
It's
right.
not us.
Well,
we just let them borrow our
it's
name.
a franchisee.
Publicly, as they said.
So that's the update.
Privately, they're a major sponsor of the NFL.